In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to replace the 16-foot bed on a Diecast Promotion C65 with an 18-foot bed. Now the difference between the two beds is 3/8 of an inch. 16 foot in 1/64 scale is 3 inches and 18 foot in 1/64 scale is 3 3/8 inches. So the difference is only 3/8. You can see how the back of the stock bed comes right behind the rear tires, and then if we add the 18-foot bed to it, you can see it will stick out a little further and still look okay. We're going to reuse the mounting frame already on the Diecast Promotions bed so we don't lose any of that detail and we can keep the functional hoist. To accomplish this task, we need to do two things. There's a screw here and a screw right here. We got to take those out. They're Phillips heads, so they should come out fairly simple. Once you have the 16-foot bed taken off, we can prepare the 18-foot bed. This style of bed is sold in the Rockin H store at rockinhfarmtoys.com, and this is one of 5 choices you have in the store. We need to prepare the 18-foot bed so we can reuse the hoist and the mounting frame already on the truck. If you're using a product from Rockin H, they all come with this hinge point back here and another hinge point up front. You can see the one up front's already been removed. But we need to remove those because those work with an existing framework for all brands of trucks. We're simply going to cut this hinge point off. I'd recommend you use a grinding wheel or something like that where you can delicately take off the plastic. It is brittle, and as you can see here, if you use a side cutter like I did, you can damage the bottom of the bed. For the front section, I'll demonstrate what I mean by using a cut-off wheel or other type of sander so you don't damage the bed. As you can see, if you use a cutoff wheel on a Dremel, it goes really fast and you do not risk damaging the bottom of the bed. Go ahead and blow off the dust, and now we're ready to proceed with the next step. If you notice on the mounting frame, the hoist assembly sticks up farther on the frame. It's not flush with the existing framework. So we need to add spacers so the hoist and the bed do not interfere with each other. To accomplish this, I've chosen some 1mm scrap styrene out of my scrap bin, and I'm going to stack 2 pieces together to make it 2 millimeters. This will give us ample space to get above the hoist. Dimensions on these are basically 1 inch by 3/4 and then 1.25 inches by 3/4. If you already have 2 millimeter thick styrene, you do not need to stack them together. Once your plastic is glued together and the glue is dry, you can paint them to match the color of your bed. You could use a Sharpie or anything to get them the color that you wish. If your framing here was black, you can actually paint them black as you want. I'm going to go ahead and use a red Sharpie. That seems to work well for this purpose. And you could also sand all the edges so they're flush and even and square, which will make the build clean and neat. You only need to color one side, as the white side will be against the bed. I went ahead and sanded these pieces on the ends and evened them up so you can see how that looks compared to unsanded. And don't forget, we want the white side up. Next, we'll do the rear. Now again, the reason to do this is there's different detail on the bottom of the factory bed compared to the Rockin H bed or whatever other bed you might be choosing to use. This was designed to fit around the hoist area where this one was not. You can also see now, if we use this small square, we can see how using the plastic shims clears the hoist, giving us enough room that we can mount the bed successfully without causing any conflict with the hoist and the stock hardware. Now we'll dry fit our aftermarket bed to the frame and see how it fits. You'll notice that it's hitting up at the front of the bed right behind the cab. This particular style of bed has a small lip here that some of the other beds that are featured in the Rockin H store and other beds that are aftermarket don't have. So what we'll do is we're going to take out this little lip right here. That way it'll set flat on our mounting frame. Looking at the bed compared to our mounting frame, if we remove the lip from the outside edge of this piece of the box and this piece of the box, it will sit flat. To accomplish this, I'm just going to use a file. This plastic is pretty durable, but you don't want to get too carried away using your file. Use your file in a nice, non-aggressive manner, and you shouldn't have any trouble. Now we'll dry fit one more time. You can see now that the lip no longer obstructs the mounting frame and it sets flat. We'll take one more look from the front. And now we can go ahead and glue it to the mounting frame. Once again, we're going to use our CA glue. And we'll set it on our bed. I always like to compare one of the top lines against the cab to make sure that it's not tilting right or left, and then look at it from the front to make sure that it's even on both sides according to the cab. And then from the rear, do the same as well to make sure that it's square on our mounting frame. So we can see here these three lights back here look pretty close, like they're in the middle of the mounting frame. Now we'll use a little Instaset to speed up our building process. If you happen to choose this bed, this is called the CA18. It comes with this particular tarp frame. There's a thicker side toward the front and then a thinner side at the rear. The thick portion has a groove which fits over this flange at the front of the bed. and then it snaps into place. Now your new C65 is ready for the model farm. Of course, you can come in and add detail to the marker lights on the way around. You could put DOT tape down the side of it, add an aftermarket tarp. There's also some lights at the rear you can color in to make it as detailed as you wish. Now we're ready to go haul some grain.